Even though there's a lot of crime that's going on, we do care about each other. They don't call it the city of brotherly love just because it sounded good. This is definitely something that is taking over in our community, but each of the victims that come through the door, they're human.
Support has the power of turning a person's life around to help them access opportunities. That's why Sadiqa Lucas works here in the emergency department.
This is a safe haven. It's a hospital. This is where they come for help.
She's not a doctor, but a lifeline for the gun violence victims who enter the trauma bay at Temple University Hospital in North Philadelphia, a neighborhood where it's hard to find support.
Majority of the trauma there, it just happened. Their bodies are shaking. Some of them don't feel safe immediately.
Sadiqa is a trauma victim advocate. She meets gunshot victims who come to the ED at their bedside, helping to open them up to opportunities outside the world of violence they'd been pulled into, hooking them up with services like mental health care, housing, and education.
What we recognize about the violence that is occurring in our neighborhoods is it's because there's so much hurt and there's so much trauma collectively. So here we have this opportunity to kind of interrupt so that people feel like somebody believes in them, somebody cares about them.
About a decade ago, Scott Charles started the Trauma Outreach Program at Temple. He and his hospital colleagues saw a chance that engaging with victims at the hospital could help break the cycle of getting pulled further into violent crime.
This is how we regain some of this ground that is lost when there's so much community violence. If we don't show up and prove ourselves to them, they feel very alienated, they feel very isolated, and they're alone. And it's in that context that they begin thinking about ways of retaliating.
This type of outreach is called a Hospital-Based Violence Intervention Program, or HVIP, and the model has been proven to be effective both for victims and the hospital's bottom line. There are 34 HVIP programs in 19 states, 2 of which were created last year. An evaluation of the very first HVIP in Oakland, California found that clients were 70% less likely to be arrested and 60% less likely to be involved in a gang. It was also found to save $750,000 to $1.5 million in hospital and incarceration costs.
Once you walk out of the trauma bay, you think about how can we stop this?
Dr. Amy Goldberg is the dean of Temple Medical School and a trauma surgeon. She's an advocate for these types of programs, pushing for changes to the status quo approach to violence. She believes the roles that doctors and hospitals can play to help solve this complex issue is crucial.
It's our role in the hospital to educate, to protect our patients and protect our community.
When we look at neighborhoods where you have tremendous levels of violence, tremendous amounts of trauma, an absurd amount of unemployment, we're talking about the social determinants of health and how do we address this as a hospital, and then how do we use this opportunity, these encounters that we have with these individuals, to change the calculus in the neighborhood.
By offering this kind of support and consistency, the team is going beyond treating patients, but treating communities.
Definitely more than just a calling. I'm supposed to be here, the team is supposed to be here, and this is what Temple does.
In North Philadelphia, I'm Vanessa Mishanya.
The FBI director, Christopher Wray, has said that the greatest domestic terrorist threat to the nation is white supremacists.
Carl Snowden, with the Caucus of African American Leaders, recently announced the Emmett Till Alert System. It's named after the 14-year-old black teen who was abducted, tortured, and lynched back in 1955. 2 white men were acquitted of his killing. The privately funded software works similar to Amber Alerts. The caucus will send texts and emails through the software to people who opt in to receive notifications. That could be black leaders, community activists, media, and even law enforcement. But it's especially aimed to reach local community members who are directly targeted in recent crimes.
We had a vandal come and write racial epithet on our door, the door of the church, and did it twice.
What the caucus is doing is kind of unique.
Sarah Prattley is with Alert Media, the technology powering the Emmett Till system. The software company does business with thousands of customers across the globe, providing similar two-way communication for everything from severe weather to active shooters. Anything that could impact employee safety or disrupt business. One of their clients had a worker who was near the supermarket shooting in Boulder, Colorado last year.
One of our customers actually has an employee that lives across the street. And during the active shooter situation, they were able to alert their employee that lived across the street. That employee got back to them very quickly, thanking them because they were about to go over to the supermarket on their lunch break.
They see adding possible acts of hate as an opportunity to quickly connect related incidents and elevate what are often under or unreported attacks.
I'm a big believer that knowledge is power, right? I think a system like this really sets them up for success in knowing more about what's truly happening and also inspiring people within their communities to report more incidents that are happening to them or around them.
The Emmett Till alert system is a step in the right direction for our community to govern itself and to heal itself.
I'm Michelle London, reporting.
We've seen a rise in violent crime targeting Asian American Pacific Islander communities across the country. Meet a man who is now using art and self-defense classes to help others. Next on The Race.